Hello and welcome to Traditional Painting the Digital Way, where I use digital painting apps to teach traditional painting techniques. This is going to be part 2 in my old Adobe Mission Church series, and I've decided to name it Midnight Mission. So that will be the name from here on out. And we're going to go ahead and do the background in this video and also the distant mountains. If you're following along traditionally, check out part 1 in this series, and there will be a list of all the paint and the brushes and the canvases that I use. We're going to be using Infinite Painter for Android, and we're going to start out by doing a few touch-ups to the night sky. So I want to go ahead and sort of touch up some of the stars and the clouds and just go ahead and give them a few finishing touches here. And I'm taking a little bit of my light purple mixture here, and you can use your script brush or the really thin Leo brush. Just make a few more wisps on the end of the clouds. Just kind of touch that up just a little bit more. We don't want big detailed looking clouds. We just want them real thin and transparent, and just go ahead and kind of touch that up on the shapes, on the edges. Just give it like a little bit of a wispy look. And then the next thing I want to do is make a few of the stars peeking out. And we don't want to do all the stars, we just want a few to make it look like there's some brighter stars in the background. And you can use one of the ink pens to do this, or just your paint brush set on really low, really thin lines, and just pick a few of the stars that you think that you want to show up in your picture, and use a cadmium yellow light and white. You can use a script brush for this when you're painting along traditionally, and just pick a few of the stars, make them look like the evening star or one of the planets or something. And then the next step is to go ahead and add in the distant mountains. So pick a light blue color or a light purple color here. Ultramarine blue with a lot of white will make a pretty good base color for the mountains. And you can use your Leo brush or the Angelo brush, any of those. You can use your number 10 bristle brush if you're painting along traditionally, or the number 8 filbert. And you want to throw in a little bit of some gray color, some grayish brown. Probably just throw in some burnt umber color to make it look a little bit grayer with your blue. And here I'm just trying to adjust the blending of the brushes in Infinite Painter, try to make it blend in a little more. Add a little bit of a darker color here, throw in a little bit more blue, and you can make the size smaller and start to draw in little details of the canyons in the background. And I have a reference photo here for the mountains and the canyons, and I got it off of Pixabay, where they have royalty-free photos that you can use. And I'm just kind of following along and showing the ridges of the mountains and kind of the background of the canyon a little bit. This is probably going to be mostly covered up, but we're building a world here, and so you never know exactly what's going to be. At least I don't, because I don't draw out the whole picture. I just kind of put things in as I go along. So I don't know exactly what's going to be showing through when I put my mission church in. So you want to just go ahead and build it like it's the real world. Just go ahead and put in the details to the canyons and make them look realistic as much as possible. So I'm getting a little bit of the brush thinned down and using a darker gray color, and you can use ultramarine blue and burnt sienna to make a darker gray color. Throw in the white. Here I'm working on the edge of the ridges a little bit, making them look a little bit more jagged, giving it a little bit more character, trying to smooth it out a little bit, and just kind of show canyons and the shadow part, and then highlight the ridges of the canyons a little bit. And you can use white acrylic gesso with cadmium yellow light and throw in a little bit of the gray color to mute it so that it's not quite so glaring and so bright. Since it's a crescent moon, it's not as bright as it would be on a full moon. So you kind of want your colors to be sort of muted in the background, and just use your photo reference to follow along on the shapes of the ridges and the canyons in the mountains in the background here. And you can use your script brush or a small round brush for that. And then next we need to add the part of the foothills, or at the foot of the hills, we need to add the flat part of the land. And this is all brushy looking, and it's got grass, and there's trees in the background, pinon trees, it looks like, and juniper trees. And I'm still using this photo reference for it. Even though it's daytime, you can still get an idea of what's there. So I'm using a sort of a grayish color, use cadmium yellow light with a little bit of the gray thrown in, and throw in the white so that it's pretty light. Then you can use a purplish gray, use dioxazine purple, and you can throw in a little bit of hooker's green, and that will gray it out. And just kind of tap the end of your brush on there, because you want it to look sort of brushy like the underbrush in the background, all the bushes and things like that. And again, it probably won't show up, but we kind of just want to build this world the way that it is so that it will make your picture look correct. And I'm going ahead and adding in the brush there along the edges of the mountains and softening that, making sure there's not a hard line where the foot of the mountains are. And you want to just kind of keep doing this and smudging it a little bit, because we don't need big details. It's in the background, and we want just kind of a soft, muted look again in the background. Smudge out your purples a little, but don't kill all your white. Make sure that you keep some of the white there. And then I'm going to go ahead and add a little bit of a purplish white, so you throw in some dioxazine purple. And I'm using the Angelo brush and some of the other brushes, just the whole paintbrush category. And this is the way I paint. I just reach for different brushes and grab one and see if that makes the mark I want, and then I reach for another one. And I do this digitally too, evidently. I just keep on trying brushes till they make the marks that I want. So then I'm throwing in a little bit of yellow, very light yellow here. And we're just trying to make, you know, variations in the background to make it look like there's brush and grass and trees and all sorts of things in the background, but we're not trying to get real detailed here. So you can go ahead and add a little bit of darker purple here, add a little bit of lighter purple. That was a mistake. It turned black for some reason. I'm still working in the beta version, so you expect these things. But anyway, so that's the end of part 2 of our midnight mission. And in the next part, we're going to go ahead and work a little bit more on the background, and also start working on the mission church itself. So thanks everybody for watching. Thank you for all your support. If you have any questions, just leave them in the comments down below, and I will catch you later.